What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the bench, and today we have a review, and this is, I guess, my first endorsed review, so to speak. This was actually sent to me by a company. They wanted me to try out their bipod after I did a review of the Chinese clone Atlas, and I said yes. And I also promised that I was going to be impartial, and I'm going to put this through the same rigors that I would of something that I would buy with my own money, so you have that assurance. So let's take a look at this. So this was sent to me by the Bipod store. The company that makes this is FeelRight. This is a 9-inch bipod. It extends out to 13 inches. You can see it's a lot of bipod, 13 inches. It has these, I guess you could call it notched out segments, very similar to kind of how the Atlas is set up. Each one has a real nice click. This is the first I'm holding this, so we're going through this together. Real nice click, little bit of play, but when you're setting down on it, I don't really see that as an issue. And then your last click, so to speak, is I guess we could call it spring loaded. So when that spring goes in, it holds everything under tension. So if you were to activate to deploy these, you press in the back and they come out. The feet here are rubberized. They are held in by what looks like a roll pin. So I imagine these are replaceable or changeable if you want to. They have carbon fiber legs, so the weight on this is actually, it's really light. I will tell you that we're going to put this on my Remington 700, and the bipod that I have on there now is probably, I would guess, a 6-inch bipod, and it easily weighs as much as this does. So the weight right now is really, really good. Let's see what else we got here. It's your typical standard attachment, nothing fancy or special about that. We have our spring actuated legs. I do like how they coated these legs. If you can tell here, they're kind of coated in a polymer, almost rubberized material here. Now I'd be curious to see how that holds up over time, if it dry rots or what, but as it stands right now, it's nice because the springs aren't going to catch on anything. You're not going to get your finger or get any snaps on you. It's not going to bind in your clothing, so I do like that feature very, very much. It also has a pivot pin back here, which allows cant. So you can see this cant's up to 20 degrees either way. It is there's like a little leaf spring right here that holds that, so you would have to hold it at that cant position. And I'm wondering if we tighten this up, if it'll stay at that position. And it does. So when you want to go back, you would just undo this, and it would take it back to center, and you can tighten it down. Now, I guess the question is, when this is on the rifle, does this thing hit the barrel? We're going to find out. Okay, so that's the basics of it. Everything else looks pretty standard. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. We're going to get this mounted again to the Remington 700. We're going to take this out to the range and see how she holds up. So if you're watching this video, there's a pretty good chance, 97% chance to be exact, that you are not subscribed to the channel. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and get alerts every time I drop new content. All right, so we're back here at the bench. Not a bad day of shooting, if I say so myself. My eyes suck, but that was a pretty good day. Now, we were shooting good old tall ammo, 223, 55 grain. Not the best for groups out of the Remington 700. Now, the bipod held up great. There felt like a little bit of flex in it, and this again will be personal preference. I know people who mount their bipods backwards, so you know, opposed to having it fold down this way, they will have it fold down that way so the legs come out. The only time I felt that flex is I like to kind of lean in to the gun, and I would feel that flex right there, and I was holding off a little bit because I was afraid that if I flexed too much, this was going to give in, and I'm pretty sure it would. But I typically have my bipod set up facing outwards towards the barrel. Now, this is a little bit different because my previous bipod was short. You can see this is only about 6 inches. So in terms of length, it was nothing. So I could mount that this way and not impact the barrel. With this, these guys are going to hang over the muzzle brake, and that's really not good. So it's just something I'm going to have to get used to, and I'm sure a lot of that is part of my skill set as well, just not being that great of a long-range shooter. So if we're looking at the target here, my rifle is zeroed at 200 yards. So I know that at 200 yards, I'm going to be hitting around here, right? So at 100 yards, I know that I'm going to be shooting about 1.5 to 1.7 inches high. So anytime I do something like this, you got to know what your rifle's zeroed at, and then make the center target according. So I was aiming here. I went up 1.75 inches, and I made my X. That should be my impact point. Not here. At 200, it's going to be here. At 100, it's going to be here. So that's what I was looking for. Consistency in the group. I had a couple drops here. I want to say that's probably from me pushing forward and pushing the barrel down a little bit. But all in all, it kept a pretty nice grouping, nice consistency. So I really don't have anything negative to say about that. It held up. Will it hold up in the long run? That's what we're going to find out, obviously, when we do a revisit here in about a year to see how this held up. It's definitely lightweight. This is a heavy gun to begin with, so anywhere I can cut off some of that weight, I'm going to do it. The one thing that I did to modify this, now this again is personal preference. All bipods, whether they're this one or a Harris, come with this guy. This is what you use to tighten it down, and it holds everything together. I hate these. These are such, like, I just don't like them. I don't trust them. It just looks like a lot of potential for these to shear and break. So what I do is I get my own, and I get these from the big box store, and this is what they are. They're number 10, 32 threads, 1 inch long, fine stainless steel socket cap screws. And this is what I replace them with, and I put it right here. And then I drop a little Loctite on it, and I lock it all up. I like this because they're way beefier, they're stainless, they're not gonna rust, and there's just a little bit more here at the socket head than this. Personal preference, I'm sure it's nothing, but I just like doing that. All in all, I would give this bipod a pretty solid review. It's, you know, it's not the best bipod out there by any means, but for the price that it was, I think it did a great job. And if you want to check this bipod out, this was sent to me by Bipod Factory. I'm going to link it in the description. I'm also going to show you the Amazon link right now. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for today. As always, make sure that you're practicing safe firearms handling at all times and treating every weapon as if it was loaded. God bless America. G2 out.